Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Talk Swish. Larry here. Alongside with me, as always, is Stephen Dykman. Stephen, how are we doing?
Good, man. Good. We just got done watching the South Park little COVID special. It was awesome. It was fun to watch. It was a good little reprieve from last night's just complete disaster of a debate that we watched. And
yeah, the presidential debate. You could actually see the little beginning reactions from both of us when we were at the tail end of our stream last night.
It didn't get much better from me, but
no. But at least one of the contestants in the debate did say football. But that we're not here about politics. Whether you vote for either of them, we appreciate your support for listening. We're not here to try to deteriorate, However, tonight we are going to be talking some Swish. We have a returning special guest, a teammate of ours, Raymond Perez Jr. That's going to be joining us in just a moment. We're going to be talking tonight about what we're going to be playing this weekend. There's a couple events. We'll get more in depth about that. But without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and bring on our special guest. For those that don't know, this is a guy that I linked up with, like I've mentioned this on the podcast briefly beforehand, linked up with him. We've done many tournaments together, and it's going to be great to talk to him again. We'll be able to get in depth on some decks that we've been talking about in the last 24 hours as well.
Yep.
But without further ado, let's present the future pro, former rookie of the year. I believe, what year was that? I can't remember what year. And also, top 16 Pro Tour Theros.
Right around 14 or 15.
Yeah, around there. But yeah, top 16 Theros, 11th place, and multiple Pro Tour participant. Yep. Let's please introduce Raymond Perez Jr. Raymond, you there?
Yo.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are live. I just did a nice little introduction on there for you. What year were you Rookie of the Year? Because I have no clue.
2013, 2014.
I knew it.
Yeah, Steven was guessing 14 or 15, and I didn't know which one it was because it's not my accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
But I did mention. I know. Hey,
mine.
I mentioned how you got 11th place at PT Theros. Isn't that good enough?
Not in my book.
Not in your book. Well, let's mention the biggest accolade you have is being my protege. I have had you under my wing for many years, and
I thought his biggest accomplishment was owning the alternate art sleeves on Arena.
Ooh, you're right. I don't know. He does own over 100 copies of the Tameo from War to Spark.
Still got him.
Yeah.
I'm never getting rid of him.
That might be the biggest accomplishment. But yeah, we haven't had you on in a while. The last time we actually tried to have you on, Steven actually was not with us that week because he had to go to a birthday party or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was when Dewey was stepping in and to help me out. And you were having phone issues because you were out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. And now I am at a secure location, an undisclosed location.
Oh, it's undisclosed. All right. That's how. Well, it's not that disclosed. I have a tracker on your car, but that's not important. Don't look. It's similar to the one from Breaking Bad. That's all you need to know.
Excellent.
Yeah, just don't look underneath the car. It's right next to the bomb.
The machine gun that comes out the trunk.
Yeah, it's gonna look like those.
Spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen Breaking Bad.
I know, right? Somebody was like, "I'm about to start binge watching this. Oh, let's listen to this podcast really quick before I start." These bastards. How could they?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Breaking Bad, Steven.
I haven't.
Well, we're just spoiling it for Steven.
It's okay. I didn't plan on watching it. You're good.
Yeah, we just got done watching the South Park pandemic special. Ooh, that was a nice episode. I would definitely recommend it.
Very
funny. I can only imagine Trey is a genius. So.
Oh yeah, they are wild. And I feel like they got some more coming, because...
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. But we're
presidential debate just happened. They got plenty of material.
Oh, yeah. We watched it last night. Did you get a chance to watch?
I watched the whole thing on break at work. It was intense.
That's a long break.
I mean, let's just say I got it like that.
I was going to say, that's a 2-hour break.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm taking a 2-hour break, I'm going home.
Mm-hmm.
But-
You know, usually I would say, like, not that thing, but I'm leaving my current job, so it's fine with me. If they don't take 2-hour breaks, that's fine with me.
They're like, we're going to let you go on the last day.
Yeah.
Bet. And if y'all want the final word, y'all got it. It's fine.
I'll tell them all the healthcare trade secrets. I'm ready. I'm gonna write a book.
You're like, oh, you know all that HIPAA I was keeping disclosed? The book is open now.
There's gonna be a lot of black marks in the transcript.
Oh, well, you're going to make a memoir, The Sparrow Chronicles.
Whoa! What's this sparrow you speak of?
Oh, I don't know.
I just said hospital. He's a name.
Oh, I don't care. We keep it 100 here. Nobody will know what that is unless you live in the Lansing area. But that's not important. But yeah, it's been a while since you've been on. What you been up to? Besides, you said you got a new job, obviously.
Yep, got a new job. Been eating differently, trying to get everything in order, mentally, physically. Did some therapy for the first time ever. That's been going pretty cool. I don't think I need therapy. Like, I'm not sad or depressed, but like, it was just good to, like, talk to someone about things and be like, hey, am I doing this correctly? And they're like, yeah, you sound pretty, educated on what you're doing. And I was like, all right, cool, thanks.
That's
So,
cool, man.
Yeah, just making sure that I keep myself well, especially because going into the new job, I'm going to be working at home. So I'm going to be a lot worse off, I think, mentally than I have been, because I'm going to be secluded from people, where working through the pandemic and everything has been easy because the hospital is like a small village. I interact with 200 people a day.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like the world ever changed, but now I'm going to be in my room every day. So, I got to actually get out and start doing stuff and make sure that I don't lose myself. So I wanted to do some preparation work in the meantime.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I could definitely do that. I would recommend. You have a headset, I'm assuming.
So I'm gonna get a headset and hopefully a laptop from them. I told them I would use my own laptop, but then I found out they can get into my laptop and see everything that's on there, and I don't want them to see what's on my laptop. So.
Oh yeah, we definitely don't want them to go in your personal files. You don't. Incognito's a thing for a reason.
Exactly. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. No, for sure. What I was just gonna say is make sure you got a headset that actually has a decently long cord. Because with sitting and stuff a long time, I definitely would do stretch and stuff. Especially since you were actually gonna be used to being more mobile at work outside of your quotation mark breaks. Yeah, stuff that's gonna actually help you, because I know when I go from standing a long time, I'm very mobile when I'm working, and I'm sitting here, it cramps up my legs and stuff. That's why I can actually see the draw that people have from those desks that actually can go from sitting position to stand up desks.
Oh yeah, the ergonomic or whatever they're called.
I am very intrigued by those, and I was actually thinking about looking into those, because I don't mind actually standing and doing stuff, because sitting so long actually will create those pains that that's why I
for sure.
barely could handle those 50-minute rounds before having to stand up and walk around, stretch them legs. But now,
yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of up and down the stairs, and I'm gonna buy a stress ball so I can act like I'm on Wall Street and stand up, do some pacing, do some stress ball activities, and then sit back down and be like, okay, I'm ready to take the next call.
Yeah. Do you know much about the job yet? You're gonna call? Do you know if it's gonna be a non-stop call kind of job?
I honestly couldn't tell you. All I know is that we have 12 weeks of training, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So they're taking, 120 hours of training. It's very serious in that regard.
Yes, take it as serious as possible, especially if you're not used to that kind of position.
Right, and then it also entails me getting my Series 6 license. So once I get that, then, I'll get raised and get to do other things. But, so we'll see what happens. I'm not 100% sure. I assume that I'm just going to be taking calls, looking at policies, and doing stuff like that. But all of that could be wrong. So we'll see.
No, for sure. Well, good luck in that for sure. That will be a great opportunity. Are you going to still be playing Magic?
Yeah, so I play a lot of Magic. It's really hard to stay focused without in-person tournaments or in-person activities, but new set just dropped, revigorated my passion for playing, and started playing some historic and standard, and it's been going well.
Yep, I know. It was funny because you were all excited for Zendikar Rising, and then we went through that hell of a release day.
Yeah, that was very frustrating. They only comped me for one draft. They should have counted me for 2 drafts and a seal, but they only gave me 1 draft.
Oof.
So I emailed back and forth with them, didn't get another one, so I just gave up. I was like, whatever.
Oh, you give up easier than me. Like, I would still be messaging them. I'd be tagging them on Twitter. Oh, I'll tag them on Twitter. I have no shame.
I did go pretty far on the limited side of things with that one draft. I was able to chain like 15, 16 drafts before I finally ran out. And then the standard challenge last week, I ended up winning close to 90 packs at the end of it. So,
what'd you end up winning with?
So the best run I had was 7-0 with Temur Adventures, and then I went 6-1 twice with Blue-Black Control. Just like 4 Voracious Shark, 4 Shark Typhoons.
Yeah, the 8 Shark deck. That deck's pretty cool for sure.
Yeah, that's what they were calling it online. Yeah.
And then I messed around with some other things. I played a couple Omnath decks and didn't really like them. Went like 1-1, 2-1 type deal. And I want to say I played another aggro deck, but I can't remember. But yeah, I think I might have done cycling 1 round and it didn't go well. Right. Oh no, I played a mono blue combo. That was the other deck. I ended up going 5 wins.
Oh, I saw that list. Nice. Yeah, nice. I saw a list for the mono blue.
Nyx Lotus Gadwick type stuff, or
Yep, and then into like the Thassa's Oracle.
Yep, figured.
Yeah, you were playing something similar to that before rotation. I don't remember what format. Was that during Sultai or before Sultai was?
It was before Sultai. It was like when Sultai first started picking up steam. I was playing that deck.
Yeah.
And it was good. The only thing I really lost was Leyline of Anticipation. Sorry, I scratched that. That's still in the format. It's just not that great. There was one card that we lost. I don't remember what it was.
Okay. Leyline Anticipation's not legal.
Which one?
Leyline Anticipation's not legal, is it?
Oh, it's in the core set. Or maybe that's the thing that rotated.
Yeah, that's the thing that
all rotated. The Leylines rotated, because I know Leyline of the Void's not legal, and that's like the big one right now that I wish we could have.
Gotcha. So then maybe that's what... Yeah, and that added a lot of devotion for free. So.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Big hit for sure when you get a free 2 devotion right off the rip.
And just everything at flash was so good.
Yeah, everything had flash. Like Gadwick would flash.
Stupid.
Because I have heard that Gadwick would actually become playable if it would have flash. Because it's unplayable and it's pretty bad right now without flash.
Yeah, for sure. Also, like, just being able to hold up mana and then Nyx Lotus on their end step and then go off on your turn is, like, cool, I assume. And all those kinds of things.
Yeah, it just opens up the door for some cool, like, situations and lines. Yeah. Have you been playing, like you said you were doing that? Before that, you weren't really playing much Magic?
I was playing, but it wasn't fun. I'd play, like, a match or 2 a day and then be like, I don't want to play this anymore. And then I tried playing Pauper. That's usually like my go-to to get my fix when everything else kind of sucks, and Pauper wasn't really doing it for me. So then I just kind of did other things. Started cooking a lot. Cooking takes an absurd amount of time, I found out. So.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. I know you've been posting on social media about your stuff. It is good. I know a while ago you decided to go vegan. I'm glad to see that you've succeeded in the vegan life. I'm very proud of you.
The most disappointed person in that all is my sister's old best friend from Florida. She's a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would post vegan pictures when I was in the phase of vegan, she was like loving it. And then the first picture I posted, it was like it was something, but it had meat in it, and it looked like it couldn't be meat. It looked like it could have been something different. And she posted on my picture like, "Hey, is that like meat free?" And I was like, "No, unfortunately, it has chicken or whatever it was in it." And she's like, "Oh." So I felt bad.
Your biggest fan gone.
That's funny.
She was shattered. She's like, unfollow.
Really funny.
Yeah, basically.
No, that's awesome. But you're on the antibody thing, correct?
Yes, I'm on hydrochloroquine is what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I'm shooting it through my vein as per Trump told me to.
Oh,
so,
my God.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
But I'm sorry. No,
Better
that
be
was
Clorox.
that was sarcastic. I'm sorry. Trump didn't mean that. He was sarcastic.
Oh my! You're right. Sarcasm. Sarcasm is a thing.
You know it. We know it. We all know it.
At least he helped bring back football.
It's true, man. That's a major accomplishment.
Like,
all the COVID cases.
People are dying, yeah, but at least the Big Ten's playing.
Yeah, it's true. And there's only 40 COVID cases so far. That's a steal.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
If football wasn't being ran, there'd be 0.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. They had to postpone the Titans and Steelers game because of COVID cases, but that's not relevant. Get out of here.
So, to get back on track, though, I'm doing a thing called the anabolic diet. It's been widely on fire right now in the health sphere. Basically, all it is low carb, high protein meals. The only thing you really care about is your calorie intake and your protein intake for the day. The rest of it's kind of whatever. You don't really care about the rest. So, my macros, for instance, is I'm trying to eat 2,000 calories a day, sometimes 1,800, depending on what I make for that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need to eat at least 200 grams of protein.
Yeah.
More is better, but it's so hard to get a lot of protein. So I'm confident with 2,000 and 200. That's my 2 macros.
Uh-huh.
And then you basically get that way by substituting sugar for the sucralose sweeteners, sativa, Splenda, all that stuff. And then you also use sugar-free syrups and sugar-free barbecue sauces, fat-free cheese, fat-free cream cheese, fat-free plain Greek yogurt. You basically just substitute everything to make the calories much less and be able to get your goals. And then you just use a shit ton of protein. So that's chicken, beef, whatever. That's all I eat is ground beef and chicken. So
cool.
Okay. Yeah, I've been actually for the last month doing my own thing. I do 150 to 200 ounces of water a day. Do a lot of eggs, things like that. I'm usually 1,500 calories or less every day. Just doing close to 10,000 steps a day. I think I'm at a little over 20 pounds lost right now for this month.
That's about where I'm at too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all trying to get more healthy.
I'm also been I've also been doing using these they're called Scout supplements. It's something that's endorsed by the UFC. It's a fat burner supplement.
okay.
What it does is it actually makes me where I'm never hungry. That's the main.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's exactly what.
Yeah. I'm never hungry, which sucks because I actually need to have a minimum amount of calories, and I'll realize and look at because I actually use the thing Dewey uses, that little Noom I think it's called.
Yeah, the NOM.
Yeah. So I use Noom. It's a nutritionist app, which is so wild because it actually gives you a nutritionist, a personal nutritionist.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and they message me daily because we do daily weigh-ins, things like that. They have a new nutrition level lesson every day for you to learn. I've learned a lot of stuff that I had no clue about, and I'm like,
yeah,
whoa.
it's crazy once you start delving into it all.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep doing this. I probably I'm supposed to hit my first goal by May. It said so because it's not a race for me. I'm here for the long haul.
Yeah, you just wanna
I'm still eating really good food. Steven has seen I had steak every night. For
steak
1
is
week.
really good for you. Steak's really good for you. It's just a little expensive, but if you've got the money for it,
yeah. Chicken's probably the best route because of the water. That actually makes it a little bit better because it has the water and natural stuff in it compared to steak.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to be a nutritionist by any means. It's just what I read.
Chicken's also probably cheap too. So.
Oh, it really is. I love making chicken. Different, and there's so much you could do with chicken. Beef is kind of limited in my opinion. Or chicken, there's such a big range.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, you can flavor it, season it, chicken tacos, grilled chicken wings. Yeah, there's tons of stuff. Me personally, I like to find something that I like to eat, and I just eat it nonstop. Ever since I found the enchiladas that I enjoy making, they're super simple. I eat that 3 times a week, and I love it. So
yeah. Up until you actually started using social media and posting all the food, I actually didn't know if you actually knew how to cook.
Honestly, I didn't know how to cook. I literally spent years watching videos of people cooking, and like there's two main YouTube channels that I would always watch. And one of them is called Remington James, and he's a bodybuilder. He's been doing it for his whole life. And he always uses ingredients from Kroger when he used to live around here, so that's why I like watching him, because I could like easily replicate it. But it was like the normal like bland chicken, rice, broccoli type stuff. So I that stuff's really easy to cook. I used to cook it when I was doing this in the past, and then I would stop. And then now with the anabolic stuff, he's one of the main people, him and Greg Doucette. So like I watch their videos, and like it's super simple, super easy stuff. There's a new guy who just came out like 2 weeks ago on YouTube. His name's Mina, and he's an actual professional chef who worked at Michelin star restaurants, went to culinary school, all that stuff. And he's been on the anabolic diet, and he's lost 80 pounds since December. And so he's putting his like professional touch on things. There's like a lot more steps, a lot more ingredients, but it's the same concept, same macros. So like, I'm actually gonna make some of his stuff this weekend coming up. I'm gonna make the brownies and the cookies and whatever, because that's my biggest thing. I need sweets. I always fail and binge anytime I've ever tried a diet. The cool thing is with this diet, I can do that stuff. It's just like made with protein powders and Greek yogurt versus like cake batter.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's actually pretty cool. Like I could definitely see that for sure. You say he's lost 80 pounds since December?
He has.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about.
That's pretty nuts.
That is a good rate. Like, I obviously wouldn't try to compare it, because that's like a slippery slope once you try to like copy something, because bodies are different, obviously.
Right, exactly.
But he's that seems like a good low ground utilize, because obviously it worked for him.
Yeah.
And then now,
Right.
Is there any like is this like purely with no exercise, or is there exercise included as well?
So with everything, exercise will go better. It will be better if you exert yourself. But this is just strictly a diet. Like, well, diet, quote unquote. Like, it's not like a fad. It's not like something that you will do for 6 months and then quit. Like, it's truly how I want to eat for the rest of my life, and that's all it is establishing a healthy relationship with food and understanding like how I eat will affect me for the rest of my life. And so I've lost all the weight that I've lost. I've lost like 20, maybe almost 20 pounds since I started doing this, but like I've been doing it for like a month and a half on and off.
Yeah.
Like the days that I'm not cooking, I'm just like not eating a lot, which is bad, but like it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I thought that was actually a good game plan at one point, and I realized it is not.
Yeah, no, you put your body into like starvation mode, and fat cells get stored differently, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. But basically, they do recommend, like Greg Doucette, he's a professional bodybuilder. He's an IFBB bodybuilder. He's been doing this for his whole life. He has the cookbook that I bought, and Remington James also has a cookbook. But like, he trains people professionally. He competes, all that stuff. So like, he says like, if you just want to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit. That's it. Law of thermodynamics. You cannot beat the laws. So like, if you are eating so many calories, you need to be in a deficit to lose weight. So if you normally eat 2,000 calories, you want to lose weight, eat 1,600 calories, 1,500 calories. If you want to eat more than that, you obviously have to do something to be in that deficit, so you have to work out. So like for me, I walk like 40,000 steps a day between work and outside of work. So like, I was able to eat so poorly and not be that large because I was constantly walking. I was still gaining weight slowly, but I wasn't like blowing up how much I should have been blowing up based on like me eating 4,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, now I'm eating 2,000 calories and walking just as much, so I'm losing weight. But when I start my new job, I'm going to have to either lower my calories again down to like 1,800, 1,500, something like that. Probably not. I'm probably just going to work out because I like food.
Yep.
So, but the other thing too is like, if you want to eat more, you have to work out more. So like, if I do 40 minutes of cardio a day, that means I can eat another 1,000, 2,000 calories. So.
No, that does definitely make sense. Honestly, the one thing I would actually recommend, because I actually just picked up An exercise bike was technically elliptical or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that? No, not elliptical.
I think it is just called an exercise bike.
Is
Isn't
it just
yeah,
called
just a bike?
Stationary bike? I think
Yeah,
is the term.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I bought it online for $98.
That's
Nice. Yeah, I got mine for like $240 something when I bought mine. So,
Oh yeah, you're paying for that top shelf bike. This one
yeah,
might
it's
hurt
like
me,
a
but it's
Mason
fine.
bike or something,
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Like I said, I might get hurt on it. Might just fall apart one day, but I'm willing to take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, my thing is that my seat's super uncomfortable. It's so tiny. I can ride it, but I can't ride it for a long time because it's not comfortable at all to sit on it.
Makes sense, yeah. Can you get like a different seat for it, or I don't know how that works.
Maybe. I haven't looked into it. I'm probably just going to start going outside and walking and stuff. Get sunlight.
Have you thought about just buying a real bike?
I have, but the issue is it's going to be winter soon, so it would be a poor investment.
Are you not man enough to ride your bike in the snow? Is that what you're just saying to me right now?
That is exactly what I told you just now.
Okay.
I'm not man enough to ride my bike in the snow.
Just wanted to clarify.
All right. And with that settled,
yeah,
gentlemen, I think we should probably start talking a little Magic.
Yeah, we could
Oh,
definitely.
sorry, yeah, we're doing the Ross Miriam and Tan and Grace type thing now. We're just tangenting.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Like I said, we're just gonna do a little we're doing a little recap on a little bit of Raymond, a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
But no, we could definitely talk some Magic because I actually was talking to Ray throughout the last day or so. It's been a couple of days now, I think. I would message you. It was actually when I found out about the CFB event. I was like, hey, you've been playing Standard. What's good? I was like, I had no clue. And he came up with some cool decks. We got some events. Before we touch into those decks, let's talk about the CFB Clash event that they just announced. I don't know if Steven knows too much about it.
You were telling me about it yesterday.
So I'm going to go pull it up so I can read it verbatim, of course.
Good call.
I don't really want to tell people fake news.
Yeah, I wouldn't want any more of that.
Circulating.
Yeah, it's like, is that fake? Oh, no. Let's see here. So I want to check something here. We will. I don't know what I'm looking at on here at all, but I'll look anyway.
Well, while Larry's looking for this, there's also obviously a ban that just took place this week too that we might as well address.
We probably should.
So Ray, what was your opinion on the Euro ban on Monday? What did you think of that?
I think they totally dropped the ball. I don't think that banning Euro is at all the correct choice. I understand it from a business standpoint. They've never banned a card that they just printed, especially a card that maybe hasn't even made it in the store yet for some stores. Maybe they got delayed or something because it is a very new product.
Yeah.
But I think that they should have banned more things than just that card or not touch it at all and just let it ride. Or my favorite thing that I wanted to do if I was WotC was just unban everything and let the format go wild for a few weeks, a month, and see what people come up with. I mean, what's the worst thing that happens?
That's an interesting take for sure.
In response to the whole unban everything, I have been missing Oko. I'm not gonna lie.
Oko would have saved us from all of this.
Yes. Because we would not be crying about Omnath. We'd be crying about Oko in the Omnath. Let's be
all
real.
I'm trying to do is play fires into Omnath, into Ramp, into more spells, into Oko. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
Yeah, I don't see
WotC would have let me. WotC did it in testing, so why can't I do it?
Yeah, this is BS. Like, it's not fair. Honestly, I don't even think fires would actually be that bad right now. Like, I don't think it'd be that bad.
It's hard to say. I'm not going to speculate on what would be complete. The format would be so stupid, dude. Like, there'd be some crazy decks. There'd be like Yorion on Math Fires. It'd be a wild deck. I'm sure it would be great. There'd obviously be like there'd still probably be some sweet adventures. Actually, no, adventures might be pretty bad if Oko can just turn your Clovers into Elks. But anyway, there'd be plenty of flavors of Oko, but that would be almost the entire format is what flavor of Oko you're doing.
Steven, what would you have done this week if you were in charge and they were like, hey, Steven, it's your job, fix Standard or you're fired?
So, Euro may have been like a step in the right direction, but honestly, like I think Lotus Cobra was just a horrible mistake. I think that card was like already like very good the first time around. If I remember correctly, it was super good like in Valakut decks, wasn't it?
Yes,
I didn't play. I didn't.
Jace deck.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't play during that standard, but I thought that Lotus Cobra was involved in that format, and Lotus Cobra is just like it's such a strong card. It's like it just leads to so much nonsense. Like the fact that you can like play it on turn 2 and then just play 4-drops on turn 3 when you're playing a tap land on turn 3 in the form of Evolving Wilds or Fabled Passage on turn 3 is just so stupid to me. Like if you're on the play and you're playing an Omnath on turn 3, like that's just so much pressure on your opponent to just do something. They have 2 lands in play. Like if they didn't have a kill spell for your Cobra, like they're just so far behind. So I feel like Cobra is just like incredibly polarizing, and we see that in, for example, like the mono green aggro decks right now are just like complete piles of like you and I, Larry, were playing the mono green deck with Inscription of Abundance because that card's awesome. It's really good, but the problem is Inscription isn't playable right now in this format because you need your fight spell to immediately kill a card like Lotus Cobra, and you also need it to not 2-for-1 you and kill your own guy. So you're just like pigeonholed into playing Ram Through, which is a fine card, but it's certainly worse than Inscription of Abundance overall.
I was playing both, but yeah, it still wasn't enough because, as you mentioned, we need to play Primal Mites alongside of it. They even have a fighting chance against the Omnath decks.
Exactly, and Omnath is like we were talking about how Questing Beast like isn't even main deckable right now because it just trades with Omnath, which is embarrassing. So I feel like, and I've been saying this for a while, and this is part of the reason I think some of these blue-black decks have been having success recently is like, with Lotus Cobra running the format, really the only thing that I would even consider playing that isn't an Omnath deck is a deck that either plays Shock or Bone Crusher Giant or Blood Chief's Ascension. And if the deck doesn't play those cards, I'm probably not interested in playing them. Because if I can't keep tempo with Cobra, what am I doing? So that was kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, my honest picks would have been Euro, Lotus Cobra, Embercleave.
Sure.
Those were the 3 cards I wanted to see go. Embercleave is just a dumb card. Like, I'm about over that card. Like, they can just take that and shove it where the sun don't shine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Embercleave is just so silly. Embercleave, the permanent Temur Battle Rage is just so crazy, dude. It's so wild.
I think my favorite part is when they Embercleave an Annex, right? You end up finding a way to like block you like 2-for-1 yourself. You have to get rid of the Annex, and then all right, second main, attach it to this Fervent Champion for free.
Yeah, 0.
Go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dick.
Yeah.
No, but I wouldn't have been sad if they didn't ban Embercleave because I could deal with Embercleave. I can't deal with getting Ultimatum on turn 4 consistently. That's the part that I'm not, or Escape to the Wilds or on turn 3.
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, it's just not fun. Like that's all I can really say about it is I just don't find that particular gameplay fun or interesting or exciting in any way at all. And I mean, like I said, when cards like Lotus Cobra exist and there's really no great ways to answer them in a lot of colors, you're pigeonholed into just having to play very specific removal spells that actually line up well, and it just totally closes the format, So yeah, no, I agree with Ray. They definitely dropped the ball. It was a step maybe in the right direction, but I would not be surprised at all if there is another ban announcement in 3-4 weeks again, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. But yeah, no, standard is standard, but I'm going to do what I need to do, and that just adapt to what we got.
Yeah, we're just gonna play Magic, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, this is what we have, and if we want to play Magic competitively, you gotta play what you're given. So.
Yep. No, most definitely. And that leads us in with that being said, we have standard events this weekend. It's they got this thing called the CFB Magic Arena Clash now.
Yeah.
They're gonna be qualifier weekends for a big tournament. They are $4.99 plus $1 on MTG Melee fee, so essentially $6 to enter. There'll be Swiss pairings, best of 3 format, 60-minute rounds, 9 rounds on day 1. 5 or 4 or better will qualify for day 2. Going on a hot streak of 3 consecutive wins will queue you for day 2. Once you get 5 wins or 3 matches in a row, you don't have to play anymore day 1. You're done. You're queued for day 2.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything else. Buys will be given in round 1 to balance the bracket as normal. Yada yada. Players who get Players who get a hot streak in round 3 will get a bye before players who get their hot streak in round 4. If there's not enough buys for everyone in that group, they will be given randomly within that group. Deck list must be submitted to the player control as normal MTG Melee protocol. You got to join the channel Fireball Discard as normal. I want to find the pricing for this. But based off that, before we even talk about pricing, Ray, what you think about this tournament?
I think it's awesome value. I think it's going to be a fun time for anyone that gets to play, as long as they, don't mind playing against some Omnath decks. But I think overall, I think it's a good step in the right direction, especially with COVID looking like it's not going to slow down anytime soon. So, kudos to Channel Fireball for doing something like this.
Mm-hmm. No, most definitely. And then let's talk about then day 2 is going to be single elimination. The top 16 will qualify for the championship weekend, and top 8 players are safe for rounds 1 through 3 of championship weekend. That's huge.
Yeah,
that is huge. Here's the prizes in addition. 9th through 16th place will get the $100 plus the weekend qualification that I mentioned. 5th through 8th place gets $150 championship qualification and safe for the 3 rounds. And all of them get the top 8, obviously. 3rd through 4th and will get $500. 2nd place gets $1,000. 1st place gets $1,600. I'm just saying, for $6, that's a lot of prizes.
Yeah, why not, right?
That's nice. It'd be cool if it was historic, in my opinion, but we'll take standard. We'll take just anything to play some competitive Magic.
Yeah.
At least that's how my mindset works.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that, definitely.
Yep. November 21st is going to be the championship weekend, it looks like. For day 1 of group stage 1. And then stage 2, it looks like they're going to be grouping players so they don't have a super lot of them. Then day 2 will be a top 32 single elimination. And then the championship weekend, when that time comes, first place is $10K. Then it goes 3,000 per second. Big drop off. I love those. 3rd through 4th is $1,500. 5th through 8th is $1,000. 9th through 16th, $750. 17th through 32 is $250. So if you make the top 32 elimination, you pretty much get $250. It looks like.
That's nice.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's just a clean top 32. It's no tied for a specific place or anything, like similar to how day 2s work with how I know that's how SCG works or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. I'm kind of excited for these events. I wasn't even planning on playing Saturday like that.
Yeah,
but
neither of us were. Yeah.
Now I'm 100% in.
What time does it start?
I think 9 a.m. their time, so it's usually noon. But I have that right up here on the MTG Melee thing. So
that'll be great. That's awesome.
Let me,
not having to wake up early is so nice.
So let's take a look here. Saturday, 12 p.m. our Eastern time.
Nice.
So if you're over here on the Eastern Coast, it'll be at noon.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll have to hop in and register for this tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon when I get home.
There's already 122 players registered.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have me listed on there yet because I submitted it through, because we had to submit it through a different secondary area.
Yep.
But regardless, this event's going to be great. So, Ray, what do you think about playing for this event?
I'm probably going to play Temur Adventures. I've had the most success with it. There's other things that I'm considering, but they probably won't be ready in time for me to want to play them in a tournament that I'm actually taking serious.
Fair.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. Temur Adventures, obviously, a very good deck. I've played the deck, not recently, but I played it before COVID and stuff. I played it in paper. I actually was playing it in paper a lot, a ton. I actually scooped Ray into winning a Switch when I was playing Temur Adventures once.
Yeah, I bodied you.
Don't believe none of that. That's not true. He didn't body nobody. I scooped him in.
Student turns on master, is what they say.
Yeah, you know.
I am the grasshopper now. I mean, wait, I was always the grasshopper.
Oh boy. Yeah. So you said you're having good success with Temur Adventures. What other decks have you been messing around with, Ray?
So the other deck that I'm really interested in is this blue-black mill deck that I found from the Moto Dump.
Yep.
I was playing it just to try something new out because I don't think that I get that Omnath is good, and I don't disagree with that. I just do not like that mirror match at all, and that's one of the things that I have to enjoy if I'm going to play a deck that's being targeted and like at the top of the field. If it's a deck I do not like mirror matches of, I just won't play it. I'll play something totally different. That's usually how I end up with like 5-color Golos or like blue-white control or these decks that I go to. This blue-black mill deck is kind of in that same vein. There's some holes that the original deck list had. It only played 18 lands. It played a lot of the spell lands, and I just think that land drops too important. I started tuning it, started putting in different things. The sideboard still really doesn't make sense. I changed it almost immediately from the 5-0 list, and I still can't really make a copacetic sideboard plan. People are playing the green spider now that has escape, and that's kind of weird. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it's weird for me because I'm playing a deck that actually wants flyers after sideboard with like Nighthawks or Shark Typhoons, and the spider just eats my tokens alive, which is annoying.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the deck has a lot of promise. I think it's only good as long as there's a lot of Omnath in the field.
Yep.
It does not have a good aggro matchup. It has a pretty good Adventures matchup, pretty good Rogue matchup, and Omnath. So it's good at like level 0, and then it's good at level like 2. But like the level 1, if people are playing like the mono red aggro decks and stuff like that, then you can get rolled. So
or clerics.
Yeah, I was just about to mention on stream today. Were we even streaming? We were streaming. Yeah. On stream today, we were testing the deck you're talking about right now because we've been messing around with that as well. And yeah, we lost to the first deck was like black white good cards. It was just very solid, like aggressive mid-rangey cards. They had the black shade, and that card was just annoying as hell. And then they were playing Skyclave Apparition too, so they'd play the 3/1 out of their yard, then they'd Apparition our crab or whatever else we had in play that was annoying. They can obviously hit the tutelage,
right.
And just a lot of threats that they're just playing out of their graveyard and putting good pressure on us that are kind of hard to deal with. And then we also lost to a really interesting like black-white clerics deck, which was pretty cool. They were like playing the new 2-drop uncommon into veto, so every game trigger was dealing us damage, and then they were playing Speaker of the Heavens, which also happens to be a cleric, and the new 5-drop that like wins the game when you gain a bunch of life, and it was a very interesting deck. But yeah, we ended up losing to that as well. So I think we get what you're talking about. The aggressive strategies, just clean aggressive decks are kind of tough for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I've looked at sideboarding options like Witch's Vengeance or Paradoxical Haze, more removal. But like I said, I haven't really developed a copacetic sideboard yet. So yeah. I have faith. I have faith that it's good. The deck overall is good, but I don't know if that's a flash in the pan because Mill is rarely that good.
Yeah.
Like a standard environment.
Yep, that's good.
It is what it is. And then, like, there's the other decks that are still floating around. Like, people are playing 4-color Omnath, 4-color Adventures.
Yep.
Mono Red, Rule Adventures.
What's your take?
I haven't seen Mono Green, but, like, I think it exists.
It does, yeah. What's your take on the... Have you seen the like, Luris Mill deck?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, yeah, so it's it was in Larry. Do you remember what event that was in?
Yeah, it was in the Japan Red Bull event over the weekend. I
see. Okay, so it was a Japanese Red Bull event, and it's a very interesting deck. It's like Mill.
Bear with me, I'm pulling it up, and then I'm gonna share the screen with Ray so he can see it.
Sounds good. But basically, so it's a Lurrus mill deck. It's obviously playing the 4 crabs, and then it plays the 4, the Guild Enforcer, the rogue, obviously, that mills people. Yeah. And then, here it is. He's got it right now, so
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
ship
going
it
to
over
be
to you.
sharing the screen with you.
I was curious if you had played this deck at all, because I'm really interested in this one. We haven't touched this one yet, but this deck, it just looks like very interesting to me.
Yep, bear with me, Raymond. I'm gonna go ahead and move my screen, move this over so you can see it. All right.
So let me full screen this real quick. All right, so we got Secret Keeper, Theme Skills, Slow Guy Launcher. So tiny.
They were like, no.
Oh, that card is. I forgot that it got the -6 if they have 7 or more. So this is just a literal 1-mana removal spell for like anything.
Yeah,
That's
aggressive decks
hilarious.
probably don't like it. It's pretty good against Bone Crusher Giant because they can't swing and you don't take damage. Well, no, you take the damage because it's still a target, but...
Does the spell target it, or the...
because you have to target it upon casting.
But I really like this card against mono green.
Yeah,
it deals with everything in mono green, which is amazing. Like 1-mana blue, just...
There's a card that I actually just cut from the 75 total. Like I was ready to cut it already before you sent me your updated list, and that was that Seagate Stormcaller. Like especially after the change, just it did nothing.
When we were playing the version with Secret Keeper, it was a lot better, and this deck does have Secret Keeper. When you can go. Because this makes Secret Keeper a real card, right?
I wasn't saying if it was bad in this build. I wasn't saying that. I was just talking about our build.
Yeah.
I was just highlighting the card because it is a new card.
In the build we've been playing, horrible. Just doesn't interact enough with what we're doing. But in the Secret Keeper decks, I think it's really important because Secret Keeper alone, just 1 mana 4 cards. That's it's 1 mana, which is great, but 4 cards is out of 1 card isn't really enough. But when you can turn it into 1 mana 8 cards, all of a sudden, that's really solid. And, I think it's really important for that aspect. And it's also really important that you can just, replay this crap out of your graveyard and do it to people some more in a Lurrus strategy, which is kind of cool. Now, they're not main decking it in this build, but they've got some in the sideboard.
Yep. And Ray, what I was actually going to mention to you is the card that I actually found very impressive and actually not that bad against aggro as well, and that's Cling to Dust. The reason is we can easily be gaining 6 a turn, by just hitting creatures. Or a secondary part, it triggers the Teferi's Toolage card because it lets us draw a card, removes cards. Against rogues, we just kept targeting ourselves.
Yeah, rogues couldn't get enough cards in our graveyard. The game 3 was the wildest thing. They never did a damage to us. They tried fighting our Clings with their Cling, and it did not work at all.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
I like the play where they clinged one of our cards and we clinged it in response.
We clinged it in response, so it was a 1. It was basically Veil of Summer. That's literally what the card was. We made Cling to Dust Veil of Summer. It's really wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was sweet.
We did have a triple crab hand earlier. That was fun.
Oh, that's so good.
Triple crab.
That's the dream.
Crab is just so awesome.
Oh, triple crabs are oof.
Whew, crab.
Real talk, I do think this list was playing Soul Guy Laren strictly because Euro was legal at this time.
Could be. Well, you have to think too, this is there, and to be fair, maybe this should just be Cling to Dust. We'd have to test it.
No, he's playing Cling.
Oh, he's playing that too?
Yeah.
I was just saying, it's another, this deck needs some card advantage, right? Does this deck play it plays Into the Story, so it's got that for card advantage.
Yep.
But think about Ray's list before we made changes, right? Ray's playing, we're playing the 4 Into the Story, then he's playing the 3 mana draw spell, the Thirst for Meaning, and then Omen of the Sea. So there's a lot of card selection and card manipulation. I feel like Soul Guide Lantern, part of it is just with Lurrus, if you're out of gas, you can just keep looping this thing like Mishra's Bauble in Modern,
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously more expensive, but it still does that thing to just generate cards. And sometimes you're just going to be in the market for that.
Right. Also, Ray, what I was going to mention to you earlier, I don't think I told you this earlier, we are actually trying 2 Gargoyles back in the deck because of all the card draw you added to the deck. It feels like it's always online on both halves.
That's fair. I can see that.
Yeah, because you just your deck is mono card advantage along with the mill game plan, and I love the build actually because I'm not shocked that it's mono card advantage because I've seen you play Magic.
I love drawing cards.
But secondly, it has so much card advantage and it's very easy to just be purely reactive. Like, you can easily just cut, like, what we do a lot of times is we cut the, what is that called? Cacophony, is that what the name of it?
Yep, maddening cacophony.
Yeah, we cut that because it's sorcery speed, and we just bring in not mono reactive spells, and the only sorcery speed spell we really cast are like Ruin Crabs or like the Tefiris, but usually we'll just wait to play the Teferi's Tutelage a lot of times until we have like protection for it, things of that nature.
Right.
And that's why I was really enjoying the list, and yeah, the aggro matchup is probably going to be the toughest, that's obvious. Like we were talking earlier, it's a Dirtle deck. That's...
I mean, it's
That's
a combo
just the
deck.
nature.
Yeah, we're literally playing, and the version we're playing right now, like when your combo involves playing a 3-mana enchantment, you're kind of slow, and that's just how it works.
And that's where I was hoping the Gargoyle could help with that.
It does a little bit.
It's still problematic against the mono green with the Spider, but maybe we can just because we're also playing Cling to Dust, so maybe we can fight through the Spider a little bit better because we can just try to make sure we don't let that ever escape us.
Yeah.
Because it has to.
No, for sure.
It needs to escape to actually kill like the Gargoyle, obviously. So that might be the route that we're gonna the angle that we're gonna try to attack it.
At some point, I want to explore this build too, because we haven't touched this yet, and this
I'm
is
always
definitely
down.
different than. But for now, it's close to event time, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
But this is definitely something I really want to look at and am interested in. I think the blue-black decks in general, like whether it's the 8 Shark or this like Mill, whether it's the one we're playing right now or this deck, I think these decks have a lot of room to grow. I think they're pretty vastly unexplored so far, and I think they're a really reasonable strategy right now. And I'm excited to play with them because, like I was telling you, even before Euro got banned, I was just messing around like last week or whatever, or 2 weeks ago, and I was having success with Blue Black too, and was kind of messaging Larry like, "Hey, I think Blue Black might actually be good."
I remember that. Your deck was just an annoying deck. I don't think it would work long term, of course, but I think it was a good starting point.
Yeah.
But man, day one, everybody wants to play these untuned decks, and you're just playing mono counters and removal. That's a good time.
It's 1 for 1, and then I was playing Reign of Revelation, and just as a card advantage spell, and my win condition was literally just Typhoon people. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I think
I'm actually kind of not sold that Rogues isn't very good because a lot of their creatures are pretty bad, to be honest. I've noticed that they just play these creatures where we just don't care.
Yeah.
And I just think to myself, in a lot of these decks, they're playing some weird cards. Their card selections that are built behind the decks makes you think how do you handle any good Omnath players or anything that can just run circles around you?
Yeah, so I think
just things I think about how do you pull this off?
The problem with Rogues, like a lot of other decks, is the black Rogue for 1 mana is really good. That's a very solid 1-drop. It doesn't have another good 1-drop. It just doesn't. The 1 mana 1/1 flyer is not good. That is not a good card.
No.
I do not want to play that card if I'm playing Rogues. But then you have the problem of you only have 4 1-drops, and obviously you can play Blood Chief's Ascension or whatever, which is fine, but that's not pressure. You're going to have a lot of clunkier than you would like hands. I think the best build of Rogues, in my opinion, are the Slither Wisp ones, because at least Slither Wisp is a good card and will get you card advantage and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But even that deck, these decks, they just need another 1-drop. These aggressive decks in Standard, other than mono green and mono red, they just don't have the 1-drops. And even mono red's 1-drops are they're fine. They're not great. They're fine. They're obviously Fervent Champion's super good if you draw multiple. And a Akum Hellhound is fine, like I said, but when you run out of lands, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
So they're just all these aggressive decks. We have this format where people are able to ramp into this payoff that is automatically a 2 for 1, and then if you can't kill it, it's gaining 4 life at minimum every time they put a land into play. So that's just free value. It's so hard to beat people with these aggro decks, and then on top of that, your curve just isn't up to snuff right now. So, I think all of these most of the aggressive decks at least are just slightly lacking in the 1-drop department at least, which is a huge problem for aggressive decks because you really want good ones.
No, I agree with that. I do want to circle back to Temur Adventures for a moment because I actually wanted to ask Ray about this thing. Typically, Temur Adventures back when I was playing it, like the very aggressive decks were like the biggest like Achilles heel. How are you able to handle the aggressive decks currently? Do you think that's a fine matchup, or is it still a matchup that you prefer, like you want to dodge, but you have actually a medium plan for it?
Nope, I think Temur Adventures with the current mono red configurations and current, because like mono red's the only thing that I'm really worried about, because as Stephen was saying, mono red has different choices at one drops. They're not great, but they're still there. Like people are playing the goblin that deals damage when it dies equal to its power.
Yep.
If it has equip or whatever, they have that. They have Ginger Brood I've played against.
Yep.
So like they have options more so than other colors, and so I think that they're the most aggressive deck right now, and I do fine versus them. I think the key to adventures against aggressive decks and just any deck in general is you have to keep an opening hand that has a game plan. You can't keep an opening hand that doesn't do anything, and there's a lot of hands that are traps. Like for instance, let's say you have 3 lands, a Brazen Borrower, an Escape from the Wilds, and like a Fae of Wishes, like a hand that looks pretty playable like that. And that hand is literally nothing.
Yeah.
So that's like an ideal hand versus mono red though, because you can put a 1/4 into a bounce spell into maybe Escape the Wilds, but like even then that's not great. So I think that as long as you keep decent hands with the deck, you're not on the back foot at all against the aggressive decks, or any deck for that matter.
It's also really nice that in these in like this Channel Fireball event, for example, and you know the Modern Energy that we'll likely be playing in on Sunday as well. Their open deck list, which is like just such a big deal, because you a lot of times, like, you know, a hand that would seem like, for example, 3 lands, triple Lovestruck Beast, Beanstalk Giant. Usually that hand is like pretty medium. You might keep it anyway, but it's kind of medium. It doesn't have either of your payoffs in Innkeeper or Clover. But against mono red, like that hand is pretty sick. Like 3 5/5s is just going to be a nightmare for them. They have to have cleave to get through that period, and you're going to have time to draw into stuff that can beat the cleave. So, I mean, a hand like that against mono red is probably playable. Against a lot of other stuff might be a little too medium.
Right. The other thing that the aggressive decks struggle with right now, I think, is card advantage. They don't really have a planeswalker that they're playing. They really don't have like a light up the stage.
Yep.
So once you get them to the middle stage of the game, late turns 4 or 5, if they're not miles ahead, they're just going to fall behind, because they're going to hit a lane. They're going to fall way far behind any deck that's doing anything.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I definitely can see that as well. Yeah. No, that was always like the main thing I was asking, but yeah, it is a different mono red, new territory for sure, because some Scorch Splitter Realm is a huge loss for red, like huge loss.
Such a big loss.
Oh yeah.
Because Scorch Splitter was literally, I mean, that's a basically a 1 mana 2/1.
Yep.
I mean, it really is. Like,
Ooh,
and that's just so important.
It's kind of a cool rogues list that we saw this earlier.
Yeah, we were looking at this earlier, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not surprised this top 8 of the event at all. We're looking at a rogues list right now, and it's it's doing what I'm talking about. It's playing the Slitherwisp, like Ray was just talking about, the aggro decks. Like, if you're playing rogues without Slitherwisp, you're just going to fall behind. You're just going to run out of cards. But Slitherwisp gives you like that extra like push, that card advantage, and reach. Like, it's just a really solid card, and we have the mana. We kind of have the mana to support that card better now, which is really nice. And I think that card's just like very important for what the deck's doing. It's also pretty sweet that they're playing a counter spell that just actually has flash on it in Ashiok's Erasure.
Yeah.
Really sweet.
Yeah. When I was actually thinking about brewing up a deck, and I was telling you I was like brewing up one, and it was like the Rogues deck in a way, but it wasn't like all in on Rogues. It was playing Slitherwisp. It was playing the Trickster card.
Sure.
But it was also playing like Omens of the Season. A lot of like cards that actually Slitherwisp, since Slitherwisp wasn't a creature with flash, it was just like a card with flash. I was like, maybe we just go in and just like have Slitherwisp just straight up be one of like the main win cons of the deck with the secondary package of everything else. Like, that's where I was going. I never got it completely together because I suck at deck building. Not my thing. I'm not very good at that kind of area, so I just gave up. But I do want to mention, like, for those that don't use this, MTG Melee's deck database thing's kind of cool because you get to see their whole tournament on what they played against.
Oh, that's really
and
cool.
how they did with it.
Yep, beat Omnath, beat Omnath, beat Omnath, beat Omnath. He literally beat Omnath every single time he played it.
Except the quarters.
Okay, yep, he lost to it in the quarters.
Yep,
he was 4-1 against 4-color Omnath, which is a very solid rate for sure.
Yeah, no, that's definitely cool. And he also beat Adventures, which obviously I would imagine that he should be fine against Adventures, but I don't know the matchup.
Fake news. Oh, sorry.
Fake
It's
news.
4-color Adventures. My apologies. Let me make sure it's clear.
Yeah.
Yes, the 4-color variants.
The better variant, right?
Would beat that variant.
It's the better variant, right?
No, I don't think so. But...
No, not at all. But no, but realistically, I think this is a rogue list that's going in the right direction. I don't know if this is the completely tuned, but I do want to mention, I don't know what it is with Magic and the country of Japan, but man, they can make some decks over there.
Awesome.
They think about game theory much different than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just so good.
Yeah, this deck, honestly, I remember a long time ago in one of the standard formats when like Knight of Glory and Knight of Infamy were legal. I'm pretty sure the Japanese came up with this like 8 Knights, Geist of Saint Traft, Esper. It was like an Esper aggro deck.
Okay.
And it's just like one of the cooler decks that I remember being a deck. It's just like, what is this?
And who knows? Like, I'm looking at the mono green list now. Maybe that's where the chain web came from.
Yeah.
Like, it's very possible. Like that they looked at that card and be like, this is good against rogues. Because when I played mono green, rogues was a nightmare, like a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
And
like we talked about too, this card's like good against mono red too. Absolutely, like it's just a solid blocker.
Yeah.
And then later it's gonna come back as just this like big thing.
That destroys a flyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the part that.
And it even has synergy when you escape it with the Swarm Shambler, which is awesome because escape puts counters on it. So if they target it, you'll get an insect. Just a lot of cool little synergies. Honestly, the way the green decks are built right now are really cool. I do like the direction they've gone. It makes a lot of sense to me, and we might want to revisit that at some point too and see what we think because there's definitely still something here.
But again, gonna circle back since we're talking about the events for this weekend. I'm gonna we're gonna go ahead and take a look at adventures list really quick. We'll just pull up a random one. Who has a good adventures list? Not Steven, but Ray.
So I started mine from Gertler, the person who won the DreamHack tournament.
The Dream.
Yeah, his name's Aaron Gertler. He streams a lot, and I don't know if he did any of these, but I mean, like if you just click on a random adventure list, like there's 3 flex spots in the main deck.
Yep.
And the sideboard has 2 to 3 flex spots. Everything else is pretty hardcore solid. Unless you get into 4-color territory, then there's more flexibility. But
okay, all right, yeah, we'll look at this 5-0. They 5-0'd some event. All right, so this one is the 4 Innkeepers, 4 Fey-Wishes, 4 Beasts, 4 Bone Crusher. Love Strike Beasts for those that don't know.
Yeah.
4 Bone Crusher Giants, 4 Brazen Borrowers, 4 Beanstalk Giants, 4 Clover, Lucky Clover, 3 Escape to the Wilds, 2 of 1 Mind, which I really like that card in this deck, by the way.
It's sweet. It's sweet.
The land base is it's a 27 land deck. Don't need to go through that. The sideboard is the interesting one because that's the one that you actually because you're a wish deck, obviously. 2 Negate, 1 Shadow Spear, 1 Primal Might, 1 Crypt, 1 Once and Future, 1 Ugin, 1 Fling, 1 Scorching Dragonfire, 1 Escape to the Wilds, 1 Wilt, 1 Mystic Repeal, 1 Storm Dress, 1 Discontinuity, and 1 Sublight Empathy. How do you like this sideboard, Raymond?
There's a lot of things I disagree with. First and foremost, I don't like the fact that they're playing Scorching Dragonfire and not Red Cat Melee. Dragonfire is good, but there's not that many creatures you're trying to exile right now, and the fact that Red Cap does 4 damage is very crucial in the event of people playing Torbrand. Omnath has 4 toughness. Just killing the dragon, the 5/4. The name's escaping me.
Terror of the Peak. Yep.
Yeah, so like there's so many crucial creatures that have 4 toughness, and Scorching Dragonfire 1 touch that. Plus it's 2 mana and 1 mana. The point I was talking to you earlier about in a different conversation was, I want my wish targets to be cheap. Or Ugin. That's it. I don't want really much in between. So like another thing about this sideboard is they have Discontinuity. I think that card is not great. There's no real reason to ever play that. It's a 6 mana time stop, which for 6 mana, if you're wishing for a card, you can do a lot better. Sublime Epiphany, also the same thing. That card does not get a lot of value. You have to wait. So there was a game that I played with Blue Black Control where I had Sublime Epiphany in the list, and I was playing against Omnath, and that deck is full of spells, triggers, all this stuff, and I only got like 3 modes off ever because I couldn't. Like, they just had too many triggers. I couldn't stop the Lotus Cobra. I couldn't stop the Fabled Passage. I couldn't stop the Omnath trigger. Like, there's just too much going on. So, like, at most, that card's going to be a 6 mana, like, maybe counter spell draw card. Like, it's not great. So I would never play that card. And then we were talking earlier about the Kazul's Fury versus Fling, and
Yes.
I think I'm on board with Fling after playing Adventures today. Kazul's Fury is cool because you can play it as a land, which it's very normal for the sideboard of this deck to have a land in it. It was Fabled Passage before. It can still be Fabled Passage. We were talking about using the Mythics to have an untapped land, but a lot of the Mythics really don't do anything. So, yeah, I think that this deck also it doesn't have any mystical disputes, which is not at all correct. You definitely want mystical disputes.
Yeah, in an Omnath format, seems pretty good.
Yep.
If I had to guess.
Would you say it's reasonable to main deck the mystical disputes instead of the of one mines?
So my build has 1 of Mind, 1 Terror of the Peaks, and 1 of the Shadow Ridge.
What's Shadow Ridge?
The Shadow.
Oh, Shadow, yeah.
The Shadow Bashing.
Oh, sure, yeah, the
Shadow Skull
land, the
Smashing or
mythic,
whatever.
the mythic land.
Yeah, the one that's yep. Okay.
Yeah. So that's my 3 flex spots because that's what Aaron Gerler had. I'm not a huge fan of the red card. I think it's going to get cut eventually, but I could see playing some number of mystical copies in the main deck. I do like of 1 mine though, so I would probably play that. And like the Terror of the Peaks has been okay. It's been all right. Like I did play it and played a giant later in the game and killed my opponent from like 14.
Sure.
But I probably would have killed him anyways. So like, was it really that good? Probably not.
Right, makes sense.
But yeah, I could see that. The other card that I was thinking about main decking was, what was it? I can't remember. It might have been like a main deck Ugin or something like that, just to have another Haymaker in the main deck.
Right.
But I know that there was an ultimatum version of this deck last season where Kiwi was playing 4 ultimatums and over like one of the wish spells, but that might be a possibility going forward. But I think this deck overall is it's very good at what it does. It has so much game, all the threats are great. And like the fact that you can go into the sideboard to grab good cards like once in future. I do play Shadow Spear. I think Primal Might plus Fling is also a combo.
Yeah.
That was not obvious to me when I first seen it until my opponent played me in the mirror match, and he had just a crappy 1/4, and I was at like 17 or something, and he Primal Mighted, attacked me, and then flung it at me, and I was like, oh, that works. That works.
Yeah.
And that's why we practice to see things like that, So,
Yeah.
no, that
So,
let's talk a little bit about the mirror since you brought the mirror up. And you said you obviously you're playing this deck, so you like the mirror in some form. What's a good game plan if you're going to play this mirror match?
be lucky, honestly. Like, that's really it.
Oh my God.
Do you have a clover in your pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 levels, right? There's the first level where do you have a clover, and there's the clover games and the non-clover games, and then there's games within those games. So let's talk about the clover games.
Okay.
So there's the game where you have a clover and your opponent doesn't. You should be realistically favored by a higher margin as long as you have adventures to cast. Usually that's how I beat my opponent when I don't have a clover and they do, is because they don't have anything going on. They're just like drawing bricks, or they're drawing like brazen borrowers, and I'm drawing escape the wilds into edgewall innkeepers and stuff like that. So I'm getting more card advantage than they are, even though they have a clover.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a game where you both have the clover, and I think that's the real dance where, like, if you're able to get ahead on mana, you should be prioritizing wishing for a naturalized effect to try and stop them, or like a negate to stop their escape from the wilds. And if you're the aggressor in the situation, you need to be aggressively wishing for once upon a future negate and escape the wilds and just disregard their clover because you're so far ahead of them.
Sure.
So those are like the games, but like once again, like that's where I mean you have to get lucky, because if you have a clover and they don't, or vice versa, you didn't do anything. There's nothing skillful about that. You just happen to have a better top 10 cards.
Yep.
So, and then there's the games where you both don't have clover, which is, I think, less easy to get into if you have open deck lists, because you should be prioritizing these opening hands with clovers.
Mm-hmm.
But like on the ladder, for instance, because you can keep a hand of like Edgewall Innkeeper, Bone Crusher, Bone Crusher Giant plus Fertile Footsteps, and like something else. Like that's a great hand to outkeep that versus anyone. So if I keep that in the dark and my opponent keeps a very similar hand in the dark, then it becomes a game about Edgewall Innkeeper and getting card advantage from that. That's how you win those games. You have to have card advantage on either side of the coin. You just have to do it differently if you have a clover or if you don't have a clover.
Okay, yeah, that makes, that does make a lot of sense. Now, the previous stage, you talked about like a game plan for being the aggressor, a game plan for if you're on the defensive. I know we played a lot of draft in this format, and we learned identifying roles can be very difficult for players. For players that wouldn't actually like be experienced in identifying that role, how would you like identify what role you were in?
Play draw is huge. If you're on the play, you should be looking to be the aggressor because you have the advantage first. You get to play your clover on two first. You get to use the clover first. Yep. So in that rule, if I'm the defensive player because my opponent's on the play, I'm looking to brazen borrower, bounce their clover so they can't just immediately use it. They have to spend a time playing it again. Even if I have a clover on two, you're going to get outclassed because if they have a beanstalk giant on turn 3, they're going to get to 5 mana before you do, and they can even like bounce your clover with the 2 mana they got from the ram spell. So like you're just severely handicapped at that point. So I think that if you're on the play and your hand has the ram spell and clover, you should be looking to aggress as fast as possible. And prioritize like scrying, looking for escape the wilds or fade the wishes to find escape the wilds, because that's going to be a key component in that. And on the flip coin, if you're on the draw or you find yourself without a clover and your opponent has a clover, then you have to be on the defensive, and you should be prioritizing things like bouncing their clover when you can to force them to replay it, or killing their Edgewall Innkeepers if they have it. And also prioritizing finding your own fave, which is escape the wilds, to find like the shatter effect or the card advantage to try and find your own clover to get back into the game. Yep. A lot of it has to do about play draw and like hand context, which is, it becomes pretty apparent when you're in the situation. I think like you'll feel the pressure. You honestly will feel the pressure and be like, oh crap, this game's spiraling. I need to do something. And that's when boom, you're on a defense, and then you'll feel the anxiety and panic, like I can feel this game slipping away from me. That's when you have to push on the pedal and get more aggressive and basically shift the momentum back to them.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That all sounds really good. Is this mana base similar? I would imagine that the mana bases are pretty much the same.
Yeah, this mana base has Fabled Passages, which I don't play. But it also plays, I think, one more land than mine, because everything else is the same except for I have the one mythic red card, the land spell. So, like, I mean, that's an easy swap, and it looks, from the look of it, they don't play the flip lands, the crag pathways and stuff. So that's where the difference is. I have pathways, and they have temples, which I'm not against playing temples, because honestly pathways have been really annoying sometimes.
Sure.
Just not having, like, I need 2 blue sources, 2 red sources, and 2 green sources, and I have to make a choice of like, okay, well, if I play this pathway as a red source, then I might not be able to fertile footsteps into, X, Y, and Z later. So, I mean, it's less of an issue for Temur. It's definitely a real issue for 4-color. I can't tell you how many times I played the 4-color version. Actually, I probably could have. I played it like 5 times, so 5 times.
Yeah.
5 times I've had to construct my mana in such a way that, like, I have the correct mana coming down after an Uro, or sorry, not after an Uro, after an Omnath, or like I have to fetch in a certain way, and I don't know. I think I'm just missequencing because people are high on that deck and I'm not. So I think maybe it's a pilot error.
Yeah, LSV has been quite high on that. That was like
Yeah, I
what
was
he suggested this week.
Yeah, I was mentioning to Ray
his,
how
like,
you
pick.
were talking about the LSV version being the 4-color.
Yeah.
And obviously people are going to gravitate towards him because he probably wrote an article, I would assume.
Yeah, I just get like these emails of LSV talking about stuff, and yeah, that was his, like, he talked about how the 3 best decks are 4-color Omnath is what he said, and then Temur Adventures, and then 4-color Adventures were his, like, top 3. And then he said his pick, if he were to play, would be the 4-color version.
It's respectable. I don't think any of those are wrong.
No, they're all great, for sure. I mean,
Omnath probably, honestly, I think the straight up Omnath is the weakest of the 3. Not saying that's a bad deck, but
I have no idea.
I just think the Adventure strategy is so strong, and maybe it's a little biased because I just like the deck that much.
It's very powerful when you have a Clover. Like, it's I can't tell you how many times I have a Clover, and I'm like, I'm not going to lose. Like, there's no way I can lose this game. Unless I deal with my Clover, which most people can't. So.
Yeah. Now, with sideboarding, Ray, I assume usually you just cut, like, so whatever the flex slot cards are, if you're going to bring anything in, you would cut the flex slot cards and bring in a few spells?
Yep, so it's usually the flex spot cards, or I cut Lovestruck Beast. I've never seen a sideboard guide for Adventures.
Yeah, neither have I.
But out of all of the cards that I've played with, because I've played Adventures for an extensive time too. So like, I'm never cutting Azrael Innkeeper. I'm never cutting Fave Wishes. I'm never cutting Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah. And I'm never cutting the ramp spell. So like Brazen Borrower, Lovestruck Beast are like the 2 that I could see cutting, but like, I don't even know a matchup where I don't want Borrower. The only thing I could really think of is like maybe Mono Red, but it's even good there. So
yeah, I love.
It's so good again. Clover,
Borrower and
right?
Cleave,
It's so
like,
good with Clover. It's just so good.
No, for sure. No, like, if I was going to play this list, easily, let's say negates for a 1 mind would be an easy switch. Like that just looks super easy.
You could try that, yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Well, I don't like, so that's an interesting thing talking about. So this list doesn't play Mystical Dispute, but that's usually what a sideboard of Clover would look like. It's like 3 Mystical Dispute and then 12 targets, for wishes. So, like, typically, I would only side in Mystical Disputes. I have experimented siding in, like, the one of Negate, the one of the green Return to Nature, which this list doesn't even have, which is totally incorrect. Like, it plays a Wilt instead. There's no, what are you going to do? Wish for your Wilt and then cycle it away? Like, why would you wish for it in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, Return to Nature can hit the yard too, right? Which makes it better.
Yeah, it has a third mode, which I mean might come up. It's less likely now with Uro, but like, yeah, I think that's just a total blunder, or someone who's just trying to do something different. But I don't know. Clearly, the deck's strong enough for you. If you have a bad sideboard card, it's not really going to matter anyways.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, so like I've experimented with bringing in the 1-ofs in. The issue is that most of the games come down to being able to wish for that target when you really need it.
Sure.
So like the counter spells you definitely want to draw and not have to wish for. And then I've also cited in the 4th Escape from the Wilds, just to have like another threat in my deck. But that was last season when there was actually like hand disruption everywhere, thought erasures and stuff like that, where I want to naturally be able to draw it, not have to wish for it, and then have it sit in my hand.
Yeah.
So that's a different time. But I could still see that theory, still being there. But like, I'm never gonna side in the Storm's Wrath. Well, that's not true. I actually would side in the Storm's Wrath if there was an aggressive enough deck where I didn't have time to wish for it.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm gonna die on turn 4, then I need to have that in my deck somewhere so I have the out of drawing it versus dying.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
But
We've been in
That's
that
been
spot
my
before.
approach to sideboarding with the deck. I don't know if it's correct or not, but it's been working. I truly don't even, like I said, that's the most interesting part about, I think, COVID season is that because there's no in-person events, the content has been really weird. Like, people aren't writing sideboard guides and, like, posting stuff as much. It's all very much so on Twitter, on, you know, tournament information from the weekend type thing. It's kind of like Wild Westy compared to like the place we were just at not too long ago.
Yeah. That COVID has definitely like hit us to a new era of Magic.
Very.
Yeah. Just looking at this actually reminded me of a bad adventure story. So when I was originally playing this, I didn't value the cards correctly at all. If you look at this main board, what would you think is the best card to side out like 1 to 2 every game?
Oh, I know the answer, so I guess I won't answer. I won't answer. So Ray.
Are you signing out Lucky Clover?
No, I was always signing out escapes.
Oh no!
But I will tell you, there were so many games I was playing Granted, and I'd be like, all right, I'll grab 2 of them. I was like, I just grabbed 2.
Your opponents must have just like, oh my
yeah,
God.
my
I can
opponents.
also see from like a beginning standpoint with the deck that it is hard to know like how to sideboard with this deck, because like if you don't know the power of Escape from the Wilds, you obviously wouldn't side out an adventure or a card that interacts with adventures for an adventure deck. So like, what does that leave you with? 5 cards to choose from?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this was like when it was actually when me, you, and Josh was playing like at F&M's and stuff. He just handed me. He's like, I got Adventures or something, and I was like, all right, I'll play that, and I just played it. Like,
so fun.
and I was like, I don't know what to board out. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I guess I'll board this out, and it's harder in paper because you don't have like a layout like
Right,
this.
yeah, you have to flick through
And
and
keep in
like,
mind,
find
I'm
cards.
in the blind. I don't really know the deck numbers by any means. So I'm
Sideboarding
like,
online is so much nicer.
yeah, oh, you ain't
so
lying.
much nicer, and you don't have to like go back and take cards out and put it back up.
Oh yeah, with your slow Magic playing self. But
Yeah. Well, also just like I like miss cards a lot too, like because I know like some people sometimes will like make little teeny like marks so they can like see what cards are sideboard cards or whatever. You know, they'll like put a little mark on the inner sleeve or whatever, so you can tell.
Wow, you just hang out with people who are blatantly cheating?
yeah, that's cheating, bro.
Is it really?
It's marked cards, bro.
Yeah.
If it's on the inner perfect fit or whatever,
Yeah, it's still considered marked. You can still feel it.
Yeah.
like with a marker.
Oh no, if it's a marker.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't being clear.
Well, you thought you were doing some Yuya stuff.
No, like a marker, you know. So like when you're, it's like when you're flicking through, you catch the little mark, the little black dash.
Okay, I got you. Yeah,
So
yeah,
then
no,
you can
that's
you
fine.
can
I thought you were,
visually
like,
see it.
talking
No,
about
yeah, sorry.
something like that.
No, but yeah, you know, I've seen that before.
Just to clarify, it was James Johnson. If anybody wonders.
Yeah. But no, so anyway, that's just all to say. Yeah, online sideboarding is so much nicer than paper
See,
sideboarding.
I actually prefer in-person sideboarding.
Really.
Yeah, that's because you get to shuffle your whole sideboard
Oh, I
in,
do.
and you like to play that mental game with people. Plus, no deck lists. Like,
Yeah.
it's such an
Very
advantage.
true.
Like,
Very
such
true.
an advantage. But
And
yeah.
I get really lazy with Arena. Like, I can't tell you how many times I go to start the next game and I draw the card that I thought I sided out. Like, with the mill deck, I was siding out the Gargoyle every time. And there was a game that I started with Gargoyles in my hand, but I had another sideboard card, so I just totally didn't click it, I guess.
That's fine.
Oh, that's weird. Like, you haven't been playing online long enough. That's what it is.
I haven't been playing Arena long enough.
We'll just say online. Yeah, right. You're like the king of modal for a second, at least in our
I
area.
was.
Like-
Nah, I'm a shell of my former self.
Yeah, but you were never on the leaderboard, so I didn't really count you.
I got screenshots.
Oh, I need to see those
I got
screenshots because I don't believe the fake news.
Oh, yep.
No, but all seriousness, you're probably locked to play Temur Adventures at this point.
Yeah, unless something crazy pops up on Twitter, like I'm always open to, checking Twitter, basically, people that are streaming. Like, for instance, Gregor's Ulrich, I don't know how to say his name.
Okay.
He's MPLer.
Is that the one you got the burn list from for historic?
Oh, sorry. It's Gregor Kowalski, but his his arena name's like Ulrich 01 or Ulich or Ulich or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's Gregor Kowalski. But he posted a screenshot saying that he was number 1 on the ladder, and that it's an Omnath deck, but it's top secret. So I mean, like if his deck gets leaked somehow or he streams it for whatever reason, then I'm gonna snap off whatever. I'm all for playing stuff. I won't enjoy it, but like I want to win.
Yeah, that's actually funny because do you remember the PTQ that you ended up winning for Phoenix? That you were actually on Temur Adventures that night before. You were so convinced you were gonna play that the next day, and then you ended up switching.
The 5-color go list deck.
Yeah, it was so funny. You just audible that morning, I swear. Like I think you switched the deck like 3 times.
Yeah, well, I was building that deck and messaging you guys like, hey, can you bring this, and then I had to find that stupid Kenrith, and then like I had to give Steven back his Kenrith, and
that whole situation was hilarious.
That had to have been one of the longest matches I've ever seen.
Did you know Work tried saying that I technically called in that night, even though I showed up at like 10:30 and worked all night to get done.
My God.
And they still counted it as a call-in.
That's so stupid, dude. You were
like,
probably so
yeah, it was so frustrating.
Oh,
Another reason why I left the company.
Yeah. The company didn't treat you right. It's what it is. Like that's how some companies are. But now you'll be open range to play Magic weekend tournaments all the time now. No excuses.
Yeah, I know that like Liberty does Friday night FNMs and stuff, so I might like start doing that.
Are they back to letting anybody go do them?
I mean, I watched the stream last night or last Friday, and there was people playing in the store, so I don't know.
They do them in the store, but it's like an underground fight club kind of thing they're doing.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Where it's like not everybody, because I think Antonio said that he looked into it, but he couldn't go. So I didn't know how their qualifications, whatever they want to do. It's cool that they're still trying to do coverage. I think it's unsanctioned Magic because they're not allowed to do sanctioned yet.
See, I was under the impression that they were streaming it that WotC gave the go ahead. If WotC hasn't okayed it, then I'm not playing. I'll play like EDH or something. But
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna build EDH myself, just so I can start playing with guys and Antonio mainly is why I'm going to, because he's been messaging me a lot recently.
Right.
No, but yeah, Temur Adventures probably is a good lock. The last deck I want to talk to you about regarding Temur Adventures, how is the Gruul Adventures matchup?
Sorry, one more time.
The Gruul Adventures matchup?
I haven't played against it, but I assume it's fine.
Okay.
Like, I played against like a Gruul Landfall deck a couple times. Is that the same thing?
No, that Gruul Landfall thing is just too slow, honestly. Like it's fine, but it doesn't seem like. I just don't think it has it has a little glass cannon plan at the beginning, and then it just doesn't have anything. If you're able to interact any way with them, they just struggle.
In my opinion, that's it's just another example of an aggressive deck that has all 1-drop, and then that's it. And so like you said, and the ultimate problem with decks that don't have 1-drops is what do you do when you lose die rolls? If you lose a die roll and then you also don't have a 1-drop, you can't win with aggro these days if you just do nothing on turn 1 on the draw.
Yep.
It's way too bad. You just can't do it.
This is the list up on the screen for you, by the way, if you didn't know. It's a deck that people were playing the attack Omnath decks and adventure decks. That was their game plan. It won a few tournaments last weekend or whatever. So I didn't know if this was it did well in the Hooglandia and the Bash Bros event. I know they're not CFB or Star City level events by any means.
I mean, nothing in this deck list gives me any concern. It's the same threats from Mono Red that you care about, like Ember Cleave and Robber the Rich.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even, it looks kind of, it looks fine. It looks like a mid-range deck, so I'm not scared of it.
Yeah, no, just curious, because it's probably the other aggro deck of the format right now, so something to actually consider knowing about. But
I can definitely see losing if I keep a bad hand, they're just going to run me over. But if I keep Clover plus interaction or interaction plus escape the wilds, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to die on turn 5. So
we're all under the assumption when we're having this conversation that we know what they're on. We're playing an open deck list tournament, so you got.
Right, but I'm saying, like, let's say I kept a hand of like Fave Wishes, 3 lands and something because I just thought it was a fine hand because I can play all my spells and then they just go 1, 2, 3 and I die.
Oh, fair enough. I could see that actually.
Yeah.
I think my favorite interaction so far of the new format, as far as aggressive decks have went, was I played against a mono red player who was playing the red 1-drop that bounces a land to your hand when it connects.
Yeah.
And he, they played it on, and it didn't attack until turn 7.
Oh.
It just sat there because they couldn't afford to bounce a land.
Yo, that card ain't good. That card.
It was so funny. Wow, this person has some dedication on the arts.
Yo, I was just about to bring it up. This person was playing a different forest.
But they're all the same. Oh, they're the same art because it's melee.
But on
That's
Arena,
funny as heck. Yeah.
What's your thoughts about the mono green matchup? That's gonna be the last one I'm gonna ask about regarding Temur Adventures.
Yeah, I feel like it's fine still. Once again, it's pretty slow overall, and I think the biggest thing about these aggressive decks, whether it's mono red, Gruul Adventures, Gruul aggro, mono green aggro, any of these type of decks, you have to keep hands with Bone Crusher and you have to keep hands with Brazen Borrowers. If you don't have one of those cards, you better have a really good reason to keep the hand, like Clover plus ramp into escape or Clover plus something, or you have to have something. But as long as you keep hands that have interaction, like you can keep pace. These decks don't go bigger than.
Yeah.
Nope. I agree. Like I said, I just wanted to touch on it before we moved on to the last thing we wanted to talk about.
Gem Razor is an issue in mono green.
Yeah,
that's an issue that the other decks don't have.
I'm a big fan of the 4 Great Henges post-board too. They did not play with this list. They said,
I didn't even realize
4 of it post-board.
And then I dare you to. You're gonna win with a flyer? No, you're not.
Yeah,
you're not.
Nice rogue deck.
Oh man,
that's hot.
That's actually really good against rogue.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, maybe this deck is good. Like maybe we need to visit this.
We should definitely revisit it because it will play a lot differently.
Yeah, this deck's very cool. The last thing we want to mention is the NRG event this weekend because big fan. Back to the standard one really quick. I'm going to probably be playing Mill of some form. I'm going to keep working on that deck. I like a deck that beats Adventures and Omnath for this weekend. That's where I'm going to be at. That's my goal is either I'm going to beat Adventures and Omnath or I'm going to play Adventures. So those are my criteria. So it'll either be Mill or Adventures, 100%. But onto the NRG event that I wanted to mention. We did a podcast with Nerd Rage Gaming live on Twitch last week, which was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was the first one we did like that. We'll definitely visit doing that kind of thing again. But they have a Modern Open this week. It's cool. Everybody in the top 8 gets qualified for the championship weekend, the little PTQ thing that they do on Arena. The winner also gets a bye for their big event in December. I think it's either December or November, I forget. And that's going to be their big event, and the winner will get a spot in the championship weekend event that they do for it's the new Pro Tour or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you win win these open tournaments, you get a bye in it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. This weekend is Modern. And we did a little bit of testing ourselves. I'm leaning towards I might just play Mill. I think Mill is quite strong with 8 crabs. I think it's a very good aggressive deck because it's not aggressive in the mindset that you're going to kill them with swinging, but more or less you're aggressive because you're clocking them with their own library.
Yeah.
I think post-board you could beat some of these Nexus of Fate style strategies. It's the one that is the big concern. But I definitely think it's a thing that can be done. The other deck that I really like the gameplay. I'd like to put some more reps in, and that's that black-white deck that just won the challenge.
Yeah.
Ray, I'm going to assume you haven't played much Modern.
Not since Urza. Nope.
Oof.
In a minute.
Yeah. Just so we can put it out there. I actually played Urza without any reps, and I had my best placing at SCG when I convinced Ray that I should play Urza.
With my 75, my physical 75.
Technically, I've had my best quote best. I mean, top 8ing an MD is better than finalisting an Open, I suppose. So theoretically, I had my best finish with Urza too. So Urza's a messed up deck, man. That deck was so good.
Yeah,
before all the bans.
Yo, turn 1 Oko, man. I tell that story all the time. How that's how I got my win, and then for day 2.
I didn't do that, but I definitely turn 2'd it.
Ooh, buddy, you just gotta turn 1 at one time when you're on the play. We on the play and do it. That's the real heaven.
I did have some really messed up turn 1s though. There's one turn 1 where I Emery Goose, and then next turn Oko. The Emery Goose turn 1 was always absurd too.
Yeah,
it's just so much stuff they have to worry about, and if they can't deal with either one, he's so dumb.
Yeah, no, for sure. I do also see Humans is on the rise right now, which that's kind of cool.
Yeah, not a huge surprise, because we've been talking about how, with all these shadow decks starting to pop up, Ariok Champion is real good right now.
Oh, here we go, guys.
Here's an Urza deck, yep.
Oh, buddy.
So let me ask you a question then about Modern. So I listen to my Magic content a lot still, so I'm familiar with some of what the format looks like, but what's this deal with this Charbelcher deck?
Oh, so it's there's an Oops All Lands deck. There's 2 of them. One of them is a Charbelcher. It can combo you on turn 2 or 3.
Yeah, turn 2, right? Because they can go ritual, and then the 4-mana spell that adds 7 mana, and then they go Belcher activate. And you're dead.
Since this is already on here, here it is. This ain't it. No, wrong one. Okay, never mind. I saw the Blood Moons and then the Simian Spirit Guides and got excited.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this one since I already have it up.
Sure.
And then we'll talk about the other Oops All spells. This is the Spy version. Bostonate Spy, or what was that? Ball Straight or something? Yeah, I can't read.
Yep.
I'm allergic
to glasses.
Yeah, I'm allergic to glasses. It's very rare sickness. But yeah, this card just a flying 2/3 for 4, 3 in a black. Enters battlefield. Card player reveals cards from top of their library until they reveal a land card. Then put those cards into their graveyard. So what they essentially do, they just combo off. They get the 4 creepy chill triggers, all that. This list is not. Oh, that's interesting. Usually they play 1 Nexus of Fate. This list is not.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. But anyways, they do that. They play Creeping Chills, Narcomoebas. They got Vengevines. They're also playing these Undercity Informers and R1, 2 in a black, 2/3, pay 1, sack a creature, target player reveals cards, does the same thing that the other card did. Simian Spirit Guides, a 1 of Salvage Titan. This is a 4 and 2 black 6/4 artifact creature golem. You may sack 3 artifacts and rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Exile 3 artifact cards from your graveyard, return it from the graveyard to your hand, and then it has some Pent of Prison, Sword of the Meek, yada yada.
So they combo that guy with Sword of the Meek, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea?
Yeah, I think so.
Silly ass stack.
Yeah, that's part of, so Phantasmagorian Salvage Titan was part of Legacy Dredge.
I see. Fair enough.
You basically, because the way Phantasmagorian works is you need cards in your graveyard sometimes, like the Vengevines. Because with this deck, I assume is very similar. You just keep any 7 cards. You don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume. Maybe you do. I don't know. But Phantasmagorian, you would discard that card first to get it in the graveyard, and then you would discard 3 cards, maintain priority, discard 3 cards, empty your whole hand.
Huh.
To get the engine starting. So that's how it used to work. But I guess we have spell lands, so you're probably less interested in doing it. I don't know why Phantasmagorium's actually in here, because there's no dredgers. So it's not like you're really trying to. I guess if you really want Vengevines and stuff in your hand, but out of your hand rather.
I can't tell you. I know how to play. I have no idea how this.
And
works.
this deck actually plays Charbelcher off the sideboard.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah, that's pretty much what.
One glass cannon and swap out for another glass cannon.
Yeah, let's go. I'm going to try to. I think it shouldn't be far down this league list. I definitely saw it earlier.
Control F.
Oh, you right. All right. Here's the one that I was talking about. Yeah, it plays the one next. Is sometimes they play the Pact, 4 mainboard leyline sanctities. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that makes more sense because you can loop your deck over and over again, so you can, I guess, keep doing stuff, I guess, if you need to. Is that why they play Nexus? Or no, I guess Exile's Peep and Chill, so never mind, I'm probably incorrect.
Yeah, you are. But no, Charbelcher, there should be another one. There is. Alright, here it is. So this is the one that comboed us on stream. Plays 4 Simian Spirit Guys, 3 Tangled. The hell does that say?
Florahedron.
Yeah.
Florahedron.
Yeah.
Florahedron. It's a 2/1 in a green, one mana Dorg land or elf effect, 1/1 elemental. Also is has the other side land where it can tap for comes into play tap for a green source. And then we got a bunch of like the flip lands like Ballad Get Recovery, return target card for graveyard to your hand. Some other Shadow Skull Smashing and Turn Timber Symbiosis. Those are both the mythic ones that could come in if you vote yourself. Has a 1/1 Reforge the Soul. Recross the Pass. Yada yada. Was this? Reveal the top cards from the library into your real land. Yep. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Yeah, that's how you go and stack your deck. That's like one of the main goals. So they use this to stack their decks. That's the later game plan. How they usually like to kill people is playing like Manamorphos, Rituals into Ironclad Feast. Then they play Charbelcher, have the mana left over from the Ironclad Feast, and activate the Charbelcher. That's how they killed us. And they also got 4 mainboard Blood Moon for a little extra.
Yeah, they got 4 Chalice, 4 Blood Moon, so they can just be a hate deck too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. And sideboard, one of Collecting Company.
That's a joke, right? That's got to be a joke. Like that doesn't even make any sense.
No, it's got.
You gotta put your Tangled.
That is certainly somebody just trolling.
That could easily be a misprint.
Yeah, they're also playing this random Undercity Informer, which seems also like total nonsense.
That's the combo, right? You sign out all your creatures and you bring in those two. The Thassa's Oracle. Ooh, that is.
Oh, that is the combo. Okay, that's fair. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. 4 Veil of Summers. 3 Leyline Sanctities, 3 Lightning Bolt, and 2 Wilt. Deck's pretty good. Like, maybe it's Glass Cannon. They did top 8 the Mana Traders event over the weekend, so there's nothing to like turn your head away from because that's actually it's pretty good event to do well in.
Fine deck for sure.
I do think it's probably one of the best combo decks that are out there right now. So I think it's the hottest combo deck, like by far.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ray, that's what that deck does. This is the better of the two. I would gravitate towards the other one because the other one looks cooler to me, and it's playing cards I like Narcomoeba and Creeping Chill.
Yep.
But I think the correct one might be play this one because this one that people actually been doing pretty well with, like from what I've seen online.
Yeah.
Again, I'm probably just gonna play Mill, or I might just play like traditional Burn or Boggles, those kind of things. Charge Belcher, a target kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh, Leyline Sanctity, let's go.
I think it targets, right? Deals damage equal target creature player. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, so white Leyline.
Leyline of Sanctity, here we come.
Yeah.
If
this deck were really popular, it'd be time to play Boggles with just main deck Leylines again. But we're probably not there yet. But I don't. We might be getting close because Shadow's really good. Burn is like pretty popular.
Maybe it is time.
Yeah, it might be time.
Luris isn't all that anymore.
Oh no, you don't need to play, and you can still play Luris in the sideboard and then make it your companion when you cut the Leylines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Axie can dig that.
Yeah,
or we could just play one Luris main board. Like it is possible.
Yeah, you could screw around with that.
Like
too.
You
can do whatever you want. I mean, it's Boggles, right?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Just try and attack the format the best way that makes sense, and that's what you're doing when you decide to play Boggles.
Right, you're tempted to bring it back.
It is a very targeted metagame.
Moto misses you, right?
Modern. I just don't want to play it because I don't know anything about it and don't want to put the time and effort into learning it again.
Yeah.
Play it blind.
Yeah, here's a 5-0 Boggles list right here.
Yeah, here you go.
See, that's the type of deck I would play blind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're going to play this weekend with us.
I can just play my spells and see what happens.
So you're going to play is what I hear.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, not
Okay.
at all.
At least you clarified it. No, but I am leaning towards actually playing Boggles, and I actually don't hate the idea of the main board ley lines and then bringing in the lures if we need to, because like I said, Prowess is huge, Death Shadow is huge, Charbelcher I expect to be huge in this NRG event. That and Death Shadow are the top 2 decks I think are going to be played. I think that might be enough reason to give it a shot. Or at least I want.
Sweet deck that draws cards, no control deck, no is that nauseum still a thing?
Actually,
Blue White Control's been doing fairly well.
Blue White's been doing well. Also, Bant, a Bant Euro control style deck.
It's a Field of the Dead, Euro.
Is this it right here?
Hour of Promise.
No, that ain't it.
Stuff like that.
One moment, we could find this. We're in this together. That's Niv Mizzet. You might like the Niv Mizzet deck. The Niv Mizzet's kind of cool.
You definitely would like the Niv Mizzet deck.
You said what?
Which Niv Mizzet is
the
it?
one you played at that PTQ. The
Which
5
one?
mana one. The black, blue, the all colors, and then you revealed cards.
Oh, Reborn. Niv Mizzet Reborn.
Yes.
I got it. Yeah, I totally forgot about that PTQ.
Yeah, right here. Boom. It's playing the new Omnath.
So in my head, that deck was a Golos deck, not a Niv Mizzet deck.
Fair enough.
What? Did it play Golos?
I did.
What the? All right. Fair enough.
Are you talking about the PTQ him and James are in?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about the modern PTQ where Dredge won. What's his name? The guy from Michigan. Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Stafford.
Yes.
Oh,
that
that's...
that was hardcore player of Perunes. Yeah, that was a straight Niv Mizzet. I totally even forgot about that PTQ.
Yeah. I did too.
I didn't have a complete Niv Mizzet deck either. I was very sad.
Yeah.
God dang it, that's fine.
But yeah, this is the this is the modern one right now.
Ooh. Yeah, I would be interested in playing something like this. This deck's good because I actually enjoy playing this deck.
Yeah,
it's
a Yorion deck.
Oh God!
Wow!
They made it a Yorion. Jesus Christ!
Why not? Right? You got all the good cards.
Bring the Light and Yorion is sweet, bro.
Yeah.
Now
there was a lot of issues with choosing the exact 60, so I could see just an epic play that would go to 80.
Here's the list I was talking to you about. This is more of a BAMP version.
Oh, I'm not interested in this deck at all. Stoneforge Mystic. That card's not good still. I want it to be, but it's not, so I would not play this.
That's fair. Maybe there was another one. What's this? That's the Niv. You're not gonna try.
Is there any deck that plays Gideon of the Trials?
Probably not. Ally of Zendikar. There's a one of Ally of Zendikar in this Esper control.
Oh no, this is the deck.
This is like the deck we were playing. It's but very different.
Yeah.
It's built very differently.
I'm trying.
How would you have Kaya's Guile but no number next to it?
How about this list?
Fine.
Are you in?
8 Bears.
That's Stevens.
That is, yes. That is my kind of deck. Not in this event, I don't. I'm playing on Moto. I don't want to deal with Aether Vial this weekend at all. So.
That's fair. No, but
that's the deck. Leave that there. On Life, Lotus Prism. No, go back down.
Oh, my bad.
Nauseam.
You want to see a Nauseam? I got the whole cyborg guide for a Nauseam for you, buddy.
I don't even think it's that Nauseam, though, right? I couldn't tell.
This is a Nauseam.
Is that Nauseam?
Yeah, it's on Nauseam.
Yeah. Yo, Sodek actually does ad nauseum articles and full detailed cyborg guides in our Patreon now. I can always get you access to it.
Is he all about that life? He's not on Dredge anymore?
Well, he started out as an nauseum player.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, he started out as a combo player, and he's been top 8ing a lot of challenges and always top 16ing them when he plays with ad nauseum. Like, he's killing it with ad nauseum, man.
Nice.
So, he's writing full detail.
I'm interested in. I think I love ad nauseum. That deck's
very good deck. Yeah,
we have we have a kid that we thought was going to be good one day that was actually pretty high on ad nauseum. No.
The kid had turned into an adult who likes to play disc golf.
Yeah, you know Danny Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know Danny. But he did play ad nauseum pretty well though. Like he loved that deck.
He better. He took a long time thinking about stuff, so I would hope he would come up with good lines.
Yeah, he's not the only person that takes a long time when they play.
Ooh, burn, savage.
Not talk about nobody in particular. No. But no, ad nauseum's a sweet deck. I don't think I'm playing it in the blind. Like that's, I can only.
It's easy.
Yeah, the first time I'm gonna play it in the blind, I'm gonna forget to retain priority with Lightning Storm.
No, you only need 4 mana. You need Angel's Grace, you need Spoils, and you need Thassa's Oracle. You can just kill him with 4 mana.
I don't even want to win with Lightning Storm. It's overrated.
Yeah.
Super overrated.
No, but I'm actually very interested in the Boggles mindset. Like that. That's actually picked my interest a little bit.
Could be good. For sure.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be doing the NRG. The more or less, I'm probably gonna be focused more on the standard one, basically because there's a lot of value attached to that tournament. So I'm definitely gonna be jamming standard next few days. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to test any more modern. That's to be determined. But Ray, when we go get you to stream some Magic with us?
Hopefully soon. Once I get on these day shift hours, I'll have a lot of free time in the evenings now versus being at work whenever people are doing something cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, we'll get you through a Discord when we're doing some Twitch streaming because I think that'd be a great time.
Yep.
Get us. We'll play some fun decks. Fun competitive decks. I don't want to play decks that are going to make us go 0-12. That's not where I want to be.
Got that lion score.
You ain't lying. No, they got to win.
Yeah, more like the Falcons. More like the Falcons.
Yeah, for real.
That's been the probably worst bust in the NFL this year. Just the way they're losing is just so bad. It's so painful. And like that team had some expectations, right? Like they're supposed to be a pretty okay team. So yeah, that's a rough.
When in doubt, just know New England's the best team of all time. You know you want to agree.
I don't want to agree.
You know
that's why I'm saying nothing.
Yeah,
I think that's probably why Ray's saying nothing too.
Ray don't know football. He didn't even know what a first down was.
Man, I know exactly what foosball entails. It's kicking a ball on the ground.
All right.
But yeah, that's how we're gonna wrap this up. Steven is actually going to his first day at work for
9 months.
9 months tomorrow.
First day waking up at 6:30 in the morning and
I told you I'm gonna do you guys a favor and I'm gonna sleep until 9.
That's good. I'm glad you're getting that sleep in for me.
I am. We're gonna stream after this, right?
You can message me during the day about how you're so well rested.
Yeah, I'm going to message.
I'll be dying.
I'm gonna show.
I'll not be feeling good.
I'm gonna send him a TikTok of me putting his Xbox in the tub.
A TikTok. Oh, you're so modern.
Oh yeah, we're gonna update ourselves.
God.
But no, people should definitely check out these events. We got the NRG and the Clash. We'll put the links to both the events down below. Yeah, Ray, thanks for coming on with us. It was a good time.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we always love having you on the show when we can. But until next time, that was Raymond Perez Jr., Stephen Dykman, Larry here. We'll catch y'all later.
See you later, guys.